Hello, I would like to talk to you about the importance of health and well-being and its relation to performance at anything. So my argument in this short video is that the more you commit to and nurture your health and well-being, the better your performance is at anything in life. I'm going to show you a couple of slides to illustrate what I'm talking about. And let's go a little deeper into the topic. Let's talk about how to improve your well-being and how it affects your performance at work, at home, in anything. Just a quick definition of what health and well-being is. Health is the absence of disease, whereas well-being is a lot more than that. Well-being is the quality of our physical selves, our emotional life, our behavior, our mental habits, and our relationships with others. So we often think, oh, I'm a healthy person. I'm not sick, but the definition of well-being broadens that. I may not be sick, but just how well am I functioning in life? Just how effective and efficient am I at everything I do? Everyone has room for improvement in terms of their well-being. And the average person resists this, even though we know what's good for us. Most educated people in modern society knows what's good for them, knows what looks like a good diet and the importance of exercise. But we come up with excuses about why we don't put enough effort in, about why we avoid what's good for us. And in terms of our bad habits, we often think to ourselves or even tell people, oh, I don't have any problems. I've been doing this for years and it hasn't caused me any harm, or I'm not hurting anyone, or I just haven't had the time for a regular health check or to do exercise much. And part of your development is to be able to tackle this resistance. Sometimes I call this voice within us the inner child who just doesn't want to take responsibility and who doesn't want to do what's good for them. We all have one, and it's up to us to be able to learn how to tame that child. If that inner child takes over our lives become very messy, unorganized, bad decisions, and detrimental to our health and well-being. Human beings, and we need to understand that we're all a bit like this. There's dozens of reasons why we don't attend to our health and well-being as well as we could. And here are my top 10. I know this is a busy slide, but I'll run through it fairly quickly. People are wounded, emotionally wounded, yet they're very capable of healing those wounds. People tend to be dramatic and sometimes irrational, and yet we can learn to let our head and our heart communicate with each other to make the best decisions for us. People tend to be unreliable, yet we're capable of such self-discipline and high productivity. Again, what you're seeing in some of these dot points is that inner child, or sometimes I call it the fragile ego, that is very needy and makes a mess of our lives in different ways. So that's the wounded, dramatic, unreliable. Human beings tend to be vulnerable and gullible too, yet we don't want to admit this. We do get influenced, often by negative things around us, but we're so capable of having more personal power. We just become disempowered when we're so needy of belonging to a group, for instance. People tend to expect too much or too little of themselves. So when you expect too much of yourself and you start a new exercise regime or try a new sport, you can get disappointed so easily because of the high expectations in your head. So what I'm getting at here is that to improve your health and well-being, you actually need to look at your psychology. Number 6, people are not half as conscious as they could be. So often we're not aware of the excuses we're making to ourselves about why we're not attending to our health and well-being. Number 7, we suffer from ego and vanity. So I've already mentioned a couple of things about ego. What I mean by suffering from ego is that when our egos are so fragile, we tend to compare too much with other people, and that's how we put ourselves down. And we compete too much with other people. And these are ways, unfortunately, we lose motivation in exercise, and we often give up way too quick. So again, my key to improving your health and wellness is to tackle your psychology and strengthen your ego so that it's not comparing so much, not competing so much, but just doing your best and making small amounts of progress each time. Number 8, people tend to be full of fear, yet we have the potential to have inner strength where we're motivated by inspiration rather than fear. Again, that's what self-development's all about. Number 9, we tend to attempt to solve internal problems with external solutions. So even if we're dieting well and exercising really well, it doesn't necessarily turn into happy with self. That's where our psychology comes in. And number 10, we all seem to be way too self-interested or self-centered. Anyone who feels insecure about themselves becomes self-centered. Yet we have the potential to move beyond that. As we grow as people, we actually take more responsibility for others around us. We go beyond ourselves. So that's the potential for self-development that I'm talking about, that I run in the Thrive program. Back to well-being for a second. To be healthy, and this is Patch Adams, what the famous American clown doctor who used to visit kids, especially in hospitals who are sick, and cheer them up with his clowning antics. And he famously ran and still runs, I think, free hospital, I think the only free hospital in the USA for anyone who needs physical and mental help. He said to be healthy is to have a body toned to maximum performance potential, a clear mind exploding with wonder and curiosity, and a spirit at peace with the world. Most adults, however, exist in a grey area between health and sickness, a zone in which they say, "I'm fine," when asked how they feel. This fine can be a cover for all kinds of disease. That's the sort of person who inspired me to start the Thrive program. So think about your future. Think about if you continued the habits that you're currently experiencing in terms of diet, exercise, relationships, mental habits, emotional habits. Consider how their consequences accumulate over time and what your life's going to be like in 10 years if you don't change. It is quite predictable. As in the words of a famous actor named Jack Nicholson in a film, he says, "Do it now, it's later than you think." What we cover in the Thrive program is a bunch of different topics related to psychological skills. And I've categorized those psychological skills in 6 different ways. Firstly, insight or self-awareness. Second is life planning. Third is mental skills. fourth, emotional skills, fifth, behavioural skills, and sixth is social or interpersonal skills. So my argument here is that health and well-being relies on each of these skills for you to maximise your health and well-being. How our program works is that we give you a quiz that's a starting point for the program that gives you an insight into each of those 6 areas that I've just mentioned and where your strengths and weaknesses lie in those 6 different areas of your psychology. And our online program covers each of these areas through webinars and reflective workbooks. We give you feedback and guidance along the way, and we provide a supportive community online of participants who help each other out whenever they need to. So that's a brief outline of the program. Each webinar is around 30 minutes long, and we literally have dozens and dozens to choose from. So when participants subscribe to our program, you get all of those topics in the one platform, and you get to choose which topics suit you and your self-development. Some of the benefits of our health and wellbeing program within Thrive in particular is it helps to reduce absenteeism at work. It improves work-life balance. It improves people's performance at work and at home. It increases morale and motivation to do better. And it reduces workplace conflict. So the result is that people who've gone through our program say that they have belief and motivation, that they can reach their potential. They feel centered and relaxed much more often. They're conscious of what matters, what to them. And so they're able to prioritize so much better. They take care of themselves on all the levels of their psychology. And it gives them powerful energy to use to perform at what they do. They share this energy with everyone around them. It enriches their relationships, and their life then has abundant quality and happiness. So this all stems from improving your psychology. This adds up to performing better, feeling more successful and happy. If you want to have a better look at the Thrive program, take a look at the Peter Charleston website and the Thrive program page, and you'll see the description of what the program's all about and ways you can subscribe. So thanks for listening in today, and I hope to see you at Thrive soon. Bye for now.